The Canadian Premier League semi-final is just about here. Sunday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Our coverage on OneSoccer kicks off with TSN joining us at 4 p.m. as Forge hosts Cavalry. The winner goes on to face Atletico Ottawa Sunday, November 9th at TD Place in our nation's capital. The loser, well, they just go home. Gareth Wheeler, Oliver Platt with you. Let's kick things off just in terms of the pre-match hype with a little game of Would You Rather. I know it's not as popular with Ollie as tasteful or disgraceful, but this one will do here today because it's just going to be a simple comparison of would you rather have these players or this position on one team versus these players and this position on the other team. Oliver Platt, would you rather play another game?
Than this one? Absolutely not. Please get going.
It was a bonus would you rather. All right. Would you rather have Cavalry's wingers in Ali Musi and Gauthier Intigne or Forge's wingers in David Chouanier and Jose Masunda? You could even put Mo Babuli and Nana and Poma in that equation because we don't really know who's going to start this weekend for Forge, do we?
No, this is a tough one. Like, I think a lot of people will lean Musi and Insigne, and I think that will be my answer. Those two are very difficult to contain when they're at their best. Musi had a really good year, I think. Insigne, even if the goals and assists aren't the same as a Warshevsky or a Musi, increasingly often is their most important player, I think, in terms of the way that attack ticks. So I'm taking Musi and Insigne, but David Chouanier is Mr. Playoffs, the all-time top scorer in CPL playoffs. Nana Poma has been right up there when he's been healthy as one of the best attackers in the CPL. Masunda's a really talented youngster, so it's not a big gap, but I'll go with the Cavalry pair.
Musi and Intigne, slam dunk for me, no doubt about that. Would you rather have Cavalry's defenders or center backs in Dan Klomp in some combination of Callum Montgomery and Tom Field, or would you rather have Forge's Dan Nimick and Alexander Ashinodi-Janssen?
Well, I think the key there was you said some combination of Field and Montgomery. Like, we don't know who's going to play yet, and if you'd asked me this a few months ago, or certainly last season, I think Klomp and Montgomery would probably be my pick. I think they were exceptional. But this year, Nimick and Ashinodi-Janssen have been excellent. Nimick's getting nominated for all the awards. I think Jansson's maybe been overlooked a little bit to that on that regard as well. I have to take those two based on the regular season. As much as I know that the Cavalry's defenders can do it on their day, I think those two have consistently been the best centre-back pairing in the league this year.
I like Nimick and Ashinodi-Janssen, both really smart, intelligent players, good on the ball. I just think that they lack the physicality, the traditional defending of the Cavalry pair. And as long as Dan Klomp is up to be able to be picked, I'm going to side with Dan Klomp.
Wow.
He's been that good for so long. He can step up and score a set piece as well. And you have two different profiles in the center back in Callum Montgomery and Tom Field. Montgomery's great in the air, playing against more direct play, feel better on the ball if it's going to be a more technical game. So I think you have options there if you're Tommy Wheeldon Jr. If you threw Maliko Luwabi-Bellew into the equation, I'd probably pick Forge because I really, really rate him. I just can't see him bumping either one of them out of the team. He just hasn't played any football. It's been one of the great mysteries of Forge's season, just what actually happened to Maliko Luwabi-Bellew and why he hasn't played more. So, yeah. So
two calves for Wheels.
Dual calves for me.
All right.
Perhaps it's based on paper more than practice, but I think what we've seen lately, I'm still back in the calves. All right, Cavalry's goalkeeper in Marco Carducci or Forge's Yassim Kalelat. Would you rather?
Right now, obviously not judging Carducci's whole CPL history, because I think you would put him as the best CPL goalkeeper over the course of the league's history, but right now it's got to be Kalelat. I think the Golden Glove Awards will be a two-horse race between Kalelat and Ingham, and Kalelat will have every chance of winning it. So he's been exceptional this year. Has to be Kalelat for me.
I think it's a push. Honestly,
really?
This one is even Steven. Look, I thought Marco Carducci was maybe having his best season up until about a month ago. He was that good, making big saves. I think positionally he was much more stronger. As a shot stopper, distributor, I thought he was great. I think he's learned about Forge and set pieces. The same mistakes that happened a couple of years ago, I don't think that they will rear their ugly hand. And look, Kalelat in 2 playoff games against Cavalry loss. And what did he do last week in the playoffs? He lost again. That's not all on him. He's been the best goalkeeper on the balance this season. You're absolutely right. He's my vote for goalkeeper of the year. But in a playoff game like this, Cleveland hasn't won a playoff game in the Canadian Premier League yet, has he? So
he hasn't.
So
how much of that was on him, I'm not sure. But I take the point.
That's fine. That's fine. But, that's the nature of the goalkeeping position. So, and Carducci, I'm a big fan of the person and the player. For me, it'll be a wash there. All right. Would you rather have Cavalry midfielder Shamit Shom? Shout out to the Bangladesh International. And I guess it's going to be Eric Kobza because he's kind of settled into that position as well. Or for Forge, is it Alessandro Hajabrapor and the legend that is Kyle Becker? Who are you picking?
Still has to be Hajabrapor and Becker. Becker, we know, is the best player in CPL history, for me at least anyway. And Hajabrapor, I think, is increasingly, a top player, top midfielder in the league. And on his day can be the top midfielder in the Canadian Premier League, in my opinion. So I have to go with those two, as much as it wasn't great last weekend. And I thought Aparicio was outstanding and won that battle with Becker in particular. I still pick the Forge players.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I will never doubt Kyle Becker, one of the most underrated players in Canadian football that we've ever had. He still has plenty to offer. And again, he continually shows up for big games like this. I know he's going to be on it on the weekend as well. And Hajabrapor, it just depends what role Smirniotis has him playing. But as long as he doesn't have to move around too much, I think that he's as strong as they get. There's just been so much rotation in the Cavalry midfield this season. Yeah. It's been hard to get a read. I rate their players, especially Shom, who covers an incredible amount of ground. But there just has been a lack of consistency there for Cavalry all season long. So I'll go with the Forge side. I don't have the strikers listed, the number 9s listed here. Don't know if you want to weigh in on that, or the manager. Would you rather as well? Do you want to wade into either one of those waters?
No, I'd rather not, to be honest. But if you're going to insist,
well, I can insist, of course. If you're going to open up that door, I will insist.
Strikers, I think I'd go Cavalry right now. If you're going to give me the combination of Warshevsky and Alva, I think you have to take that over Brian Wright. Managers is impossible. That's a toss-up. Bobby's got more trophies, so I guess playoff time you go with him.
Just depends if you want the hair on your chin or the hair on top of your head, okay? And for me, I like a little bit more of both. So there we go. I rate both of them. I do find it interesting that Smirniotis has played the referee card. He called out the officials for calls that weren't given to them last week. Wheeldon Jr. in his press conference today has responded, on Friday that is, has responded by saying it was tactical. It was well thought out by the footballing genius that is Bobby Smirniotis, getting ahead of things. Look, this is the gamesmanship that both bring to the table. Both of them have a resume. Let's put it this way. I'll be able to tell you after the match who got it right and who got it wrong, because I think that there's a path forward for both managers this weekend, and I think both will be on it, and I'm really compelled to see how this shapes out from a tactical perspective. All right, before we go, do you care to wager a prediction? How do you see this playing out on Sunday afternoon, Oliver Platt?
I don't care to wager a prediction. I should have said I'll do either the managers or the game prediction, but not both. But I think this is it's so tough to call. I think if you put a gun to my head, I'd go Forge at home. I think you don't want to write off the season they've had just based on the one defeat to Atletico Ottawa last weekend. So I'll go with Forge, but I think this is as close as it comes, and Cavalry absolutely have a chance of stealing this one.
One thing that we haven't seen between these two great clubs is a penalty shootout. I think that this one is destined to go the distance. 1-1, 2-2 through 90 minutes. It's going to be a slugfest. And I think it goes to penalties. And one thing I know is Cavalry doesn't win penalty shootouts. So I can see Forge going on to win it in penalties. I can see that playing out. Look, whoever wins this, they're going to be really tested in the Canadian Premier League final against Atletico Ottawa. 3 great teams left standing. They remain in the Canadian Premier League. After this weekend, there will only be 2. Join us at 3:30 p.m. on OneSoccer, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on TSN. It's the latest installment of Forge and Cavalry, and it's going to be great.